New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Coming up, we will drink, we will toast into the weekend on a positive Friday. Then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Today featuring the one and only Milli Vanilli.
That they're playing Atari in the background.
Yeah, I know. Sounds like a phaser blast. Milli Vanilli taking on the one and only Eddie Rabbit on a Bad Choice Friday.
Yeah, I love a rainy night.
He's the guy who breaks out the guitar at the campfire.
I bet Eddie Rabbit got some ass, though.
You know it did.
Yeah.
You can get some rabbit. You want that thumper? Yeah.
By the way, he's talking about a summer rainy night.
Yes.
He ain't talking about what we got.
No. That's why we played No Rain before that. I'm like, why are we doing that? Vote for either Milli Vanilli or Eddie Rabbit on a Bad Choice Friday. Do that now if you follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live.
You're
Get
welcome.
there and go to vote, and we'll play one of those two tunes right after we drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Eddie Rabbit. Why would you pick that as your goddamn stage name?
Eddie Rabbit's the man.
Eddie Rabbit.
Yes. I mean, as far as like that old school country crap, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, it's vanilla, it's fine. Like, it's not Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, obviously.
Right, they were cool.
But as far as like pop country was concerned,
Then go with Eddie Rabbit.
Eddie Rabbit is the
Yeah, and like, he's a country guy, right? So he's got to hunt rabbits.
Yeah, he must. That
Looney,
is actually...
Looney Tunes was big at the time.
Eddie
like,
Rabbit.
rabbit culture was big.
Yes, back when rabbit
In the
culture was
80s.
huge.
Our question, whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
He's from the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. Looney Tunes wasn't that big.
Yeah, it's not cool again. Hello, Craig. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Happy New Year, fellas.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother.
So I was about, 18, 19, just young and dumb and full of, crappy pot smoke clouding my brain. And I was hired on for this contractor who was paying me under the table. The previous jobs I had done for him included, like picking up concrete that my friend was jackhammering and painting walls and houses. And I was even bad at that, So he was just paying these kids to do this menial labor. And so one day he's hires me on to help build a patio in someone's backyard, nice, big, fancy house on the east side. And we're pouring concrete, and I'm just, feeling useless. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this kind of labor before. And they're ordering me around, and I'm just trying to catch up and keep on doing what I can do to help.
Did this guy care if he did a good job? Because based on your description of yourself and your abilities, this guy still pays you to help him knowing that you have no idea what you're doing ever.
Yeah, I think he just wanted cheap labor, paying kids under the table to, do the work that he needed to get done. And like I said, I was feeling useless and was, all the way through the long day and pouring concrete, and I don't know what I'm doing. So he's doing the finishing touches on this nice patio, this layered staircase kind of thing going down the patio backyard. And so he's pouring, it's completely flattened everything out. It's nice and neat, and they're pouring the finishing touches, the dust that goes over the concrete, cement, whatever it is. And I don't realize that it's still wet. And so I take a step on the completely finished but drying project. And just, at that point, it's not like you can just pave over it again or flatten it out. It's like there's the footprint. It's on the dust. I completely screwed everything up. It's all the long, hard day's work. It's late in the day. The sun's going down. I can't see that well, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I just ruined the entire day's work. And so he cut me a check and said, "Get out of here." Like, I'm not hiring you.
So you never found out if they had to tear it all up? Or, I don't know. Would he do bust concrete up and try to re-pour it?
I don't know. I don't know if you can go back over the dust or whatever after he's doing the very last finishing touches, And so I'm going to say, hang my head in shame and just cut my losses. And I hated that kind of work anyways. But it's on him for hiring somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, right?
And he knows you have a history of not knowing what the hell you're doing.
Well, I would say this. I think that other than a dog or someone who's purposefully putting their name in wet concrete.
Sure.
Most people have a general idea about that whole wet concrete thing. You don't need to work in construction to realize that's wet concrete. You still have to plywood.
Greg does.
The thing
you
is,
still see it framed.
Touches, it doesn't look wet. It looks like it's dry and done. And you just think when the power goes out and you go and flip the light switch on, just instinct. It's just you're
but
not
see,
thinking.
the difference is
you look down and it looks complete and it looks nice and neat. It looks done. And I took a step on it, even though I knew we just, completed this project.
That's the difference.
Stupid.
If Miles did it, you go, right, you weren't here. That's why it looked dry.
Right.
You were there watching them do it.
You knew what would happen that day.
You were there all day.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
I felt incredibly stupid.
How big, what size shoe do you wear?
I'm a size 9.
Okay.
Either way, it's done.
I do appreciate
it. It could be a little kid's footprint either way. Maybe that would be cute or whatever, but
it is. You get a pass if you're a pet or if you're a kid, right? Because you've seen, it's now dried concrete, but clearly the dog's footprints of the dog.
Or the pigeon or whatever. You understand when things happen.
If it's an adult, if there's an adult footprint, you cut them slack. If the footprints go all the way through, you're like, what a jackass. If it's little kid's feet, you're like, oh, that's so funny. It's like your concrete's ruined either way. Whether it was Fido, little Billy, or your cousin over there, it still sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like if you're an adult, unless you're writing a message in there, you should know if it's dry or not.
What is a message you would write in concrete? Because you always get the, so-and-so and so-and-so forever. And if you do that, just know you're not to be together forever. Would you draw a penis? I get the feeling I would draw a penis. Not because I want to draw a penis of wet concrete, but as a guy... it's like snow on the windshield. If it's there and I don't have anything specific to draw, I'm going to draw a penis.
I don't know. I never really thought about it because you're right. I always just think about, in my neighborhood, it's mostly just couples that put stuff in there.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything that comes back to me. Thrill was here. I just think that's a bad idea. If someone gets pissed, hey, man, are you Thrill? Well, chances are you put your name. So, yeah, I would just draw a penis.
What about a heart? And inside of it, I'll just write... chicken wings.
It depends. It depends on the message.
That's what I would.
Somebody might come back and go, you know what, man, I love chicken wings too.
That's what I'm saying. Miles walks by, he's like, I don't know who was here, but this dude's right.
Yeah,
I'm getting chicken wings.
We're keeping that.
Right.
Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hola.
So when Miles was telling the story about the car, and he was talking about how he went up to the parents and they said that they weren't allowed to see him. That reminded me of the story that I had.
But they shamed me. They made me, because she was always on my side. I was one of his favorite friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what really sucked. I actually physically remember hurting inside because I felt so bad about that. And I didn't really do anything.
You didn't do anything.
But I still felt so guilty. I had butterflies and I was like, oh no, Pat hates me.
Yeah. So we were about 15 or 16. And there was a whole bunch of us, 9, 10 of us. We were at somebody's house, and we were on their back deck. And the deck was on the second floor of the house. And one of my buddies was sitting up on the railing. We were all drinking and smoking and doing everything else. And we were all sitting there talking. And the next thing I saw was his feet go straight up in the air. And he fell backwards off of the deck. And we looked down, and he was just laying down there on the ground, totally out, unconscious. And so we go running down there, and we're shaking him. We're trying to wake him up. He won't wake up. So we pick him up. We decide we're going to take him home. So we pick him up, and we throw him in the back seat of one of our cars, drive him to his house. Get to his house. His parents aren't home. So we just go inside. We take him inside. We throw him on his bed in his bedroom. And it was at this point his face had turned like really red, like his face is all red.
Like
and
alarmingly
so red?
red?
Man, you know, he's probably okay. And so he left. And I don't know, 2-3 hours later, we got a call from his mom, and she was like hysterical. And she's like, what happened with my son? And so we told her, you know, he took a fall off the deck, you know. And so she took him to the hospital. I come to find out he had broke his neck. And
oh my God!
Yeah. So he was in the hospital for quite a while. They put him in a halo. They had to take like a piece of his hip, like and put it in his neck, like a bone off his hip. And said that there's a good possibility that he could have died because we were carrying him around all over the place.
Oh yeah,
I was going to ask. Did you make his injury worse?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would assume so. And so, you know, after he gets out of the hospital and everything, we all decide that we're going to go over there and visit him. And so we go up to the house and we knock on the door, and his mom opens the door, and she says, "If anybody's coming in here," she says, I gotta search you guys. She says, "I gotta check your pockets. You know, nobody's coming in here with anything like drugs, you know, or anything like that." And we say, okay. So she checked all our pockets, and she found a bunch of weed and pipes and everything else. And so she told us to get the heck out of there and told us never to come back.
And is that the last time you ever went over there?
No, it was about probably 4 or 5 months later. We were all back over there.
Okay.
How is he doing?
He was fine. He got a big scar on his neck from the surgery. He had scars on his forehead for a long time from the pins that, you know, like held the little halo thing on. And But
like, dude, are you still in contact with this guy? Like, no permanent back damage, or you know what I mean?
No, I don't talk to him anymore. Last time I saw him, we were in a lobby of a hotel that we all used to go party at, and I ran into him. He was not with us. He was with somebody else and that hated him. That was the last time I ever saw him.
You ever check up on him, make sure like he didn't die of complications from a broken neck? You know, it's just I feel like I would feel bad about that.
I don't think I want to know.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. All right. Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
I don't want to know. You ever check up on him? Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, that just seems evil.
That's horrible, man. Damn. Hello, Sherry. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, this is Sherry.
Hola, is it Sherry?
Sherry.
Sherry?
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing great, Sherry. How are you?
I'm good. I just had a little story to tell you about when I was 16 years old and we lived in Bellingham, and our parents allowed us to go to the Hart and Pat Benatar concert.
Nice.
So my friends and I drove down there. Of course, we cheated and had a little alcohol on the way. And when we got out of the car, we were like, oh, where are we? I guess it's safe to park here. And we started walking. There was a package of McDonald's ketchup on the ground, and I decided to jump on it. It sprayed all over somebody that was going to the concert's white pants, and he was covered in ketchup and all pissed at us.
Yeah, I bet he was.
Oh, God, we're so sorry. And we kept going into the concert all nervous that he was going to slit our tires and stuff.
How old was this guy, do you think?
Oh, he was probably 20 years old, and we were 16, just petrified what he was going to do to us. You know, he was just glaring at us big time, and we were all buzzed.
But you stomped on it on purpose, right?
Oh, I stomped on it on purpose because, that's one thing that 16-year-olds do.
Hey, it's also what 52-year-old men do. I mean, you can't help yourself. If it's on the ground,
it's
I'm going to stomp on it.
It's like bubble wrap, man.
Yeah.
But I do try not to spray people.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it, but what are the chances of a guy in white pants going to the concert too, right?
How was
what year was it?
Well, this was a long time ago. This was probably in 1979.
Okay, so then a guy in white pants got an 80% shot.
That ups the chances of the white pants.
I knew you were going to question me on that.
How do you? That sounds like a pretty good show. Do you remember anything about the concert?
I don't.
Okay. Really? That's a shame, because I've seen Pat Benatar before. I've never seen Heart Live, but I can confirm that actually Pat Benatar puts on a pretty good show.
I believe that.
She does. And I'm assuming Heart does as well. I mean, I've seen him on TV, but I've never seen him perform live.
I mean, yeah, when I was a teenager, University of Maryland every year would bring in a giant concert for free, right? So if you lived in the neighborhood, you would just walk up there.
Sure.
And same thing, we were drinking St. Ides special brews or something. So technically, I've seen Parliament Funkadelic. but I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
Oh, I saw him too, and I have no idea. I was on mushrooms. Well, I saw P-Funk.
Yeah.
George Clinton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him at Oregon Ridge, and I don't.
You got so messed up, you have no idea.
No idea. That was my buddy took off in the woods naked.
That was the show.
And I had to go and chase him down.
Right, so imagine now they're playing this giant field in the middle of a campus, and there's just 16-year-old, I don't know, wannabe thugs sitting there sipping these sane hides. And, like, we should have watched the concert. We
really should have.
We were just, like, chirping people.
Right.
Yeah. For real.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot to say.
That's PG County. I don't know why I'm questioning.
Right? I mean, you know that, right? There's like a bench, one dude's up high, two of us are down low, just...
Well, the band at the time was boring, so we decided to eat our mushrooms early. I do remember that. And then by the time...
You mean a different band was on?
Right. One of the opening acts. It wasn't a bad band. It just didn't really fit the mold too
Sure.
much. It was like more Zydeco and more George Clinton, but there's a band called the Subdudes, and they're not bad.
I know the Subdudes.
They are what they are. They're
Right.
New Orleans.
I would not pay money
Right.
to see
So we're like, frick, hell with this. We're going to eat some mushrooms. So by the time we got done with our mushrooms, so we did it right. We put them in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They went down easy.
All right.
I remember how easy they went down because I had 2 sandwiches, and then my buddy's just gone. He's just gone, and then George Clinton comes on. I'm like, I got to go find him, man.
I'm going to find my naked buddy.
And he's just out in the woods running around.
Right, so imagine...
When I was trying to find him, he was hiding behind trees, so I wouldn't catch him.
Right.
Like he's 5.
And most people at a George Clinton concert are on that level.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're walking out to find your buddy and you got like 4 drunk 16-year-olds drinking St. Ides and just like, what's wrong? Look at this weird hippie.
Just sat there to insult people.
Right. Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you guys doing today?
Doing great, Dan. Positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
Positive.
Absolutely. About 11 years ago, I used to be a car stereo installer, and I was going into work, and I get met at the door by one of the other managers, and he says, you got to come back to the shop with me. You're not going to believe what you see. And it was a fairly new installer that was back there by himself. We walk back, and the place is just covered in white dust, and he's sitting kind of dazed inside of a Cadillac, and he had just set off every airbag inside of this almost brand new Cadillac CTS. And if you set off airbags, they sound like shotguns going off because basically what activates them, and he can't hear anything we're saying to him. I'm talking to him and I'm asking him questions, and I'm terrified he just got hit in the head by an airbag, which would
I'm sure there's probably in a Cadillac they probably have side airbags.
They got airbags everywhere.
You know what I mean? How many airbags do you think were in that car?
We got the damage report, and I believe it was 12 airbags that went on.
Wow.
Damn. I mean, they got them everywhere.
So what happens now? What do you
can't just stuff them back in.
No, you're not stuffing anything back in there. We call the guy, we let him know, hey, this is what happened, and we got to get your car towed out to the dealership and have them replace it. Obviously, it's the shop's fault, so insurance pays for everything. And the guy was, for driving a Cadillac that just had everything go off inside of it, was very, very calm, wasn't upset, and asked us if we could just finish doing the work.
Because on some level, it's still funny.
Okay, but I've got to ask, man, and you say it's 11 years ago, and I understand that. Yeah. You buy a completely D'd out Cadillac. You know what I mean? It's got all the stuff, the bells and whistles. Yeah. What could you offer at that point in time that wasn't standard
subwoofers.
stock?
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, it was just putting 2 big subwoofers in the back of this thing so his friends could hear him coming down the road.
That's fair. I was just wondering, what did it not have a good radio?
Right.
What the hell? It's a brand new Caddy.
That's where you don't get your money out of a Cadillac CTS. The radios, they suck. So that's the only part that you're going to put anything as far as money into your car goes. Right. Everything else is great.
I mean, that's a written endorsement for it.
You mean you don't like Delco Freedom Sound?
What's that?
Said you don't like Delco Freedom Sound?
No. Got that single speaker in the middle of your dash. It just isn't going to cut it.
That was the gold standard.
Now, can you set off the airbags? Is it the same process, or do different car manufacturers have a different process that sets off the airbags?
Well, normally it's obviously in an accident, so there's sensors behind the bumpers that when you hit them. But when you're doing work on a car, there's this tool that installers create called a speaker popper. It's just a 9-volt battery with 2 wires coming off of it. And when you're trying to find a speaker signal, if you find twisted wires and you give them a little bit of juice, they'll make a popping noise.
So you know they're in there.
The wrong 2 wires, you're going to set off all the airbags.
Okay, that's what.
So he popped the wrong wires and blew up all the airbags in his car.
Yeah, and speaker poppers are totally you're
not supposed to have them in your toolbox kind of a thing. There's a right way to do it, and then there's the way this guy decided to do it, and he found out the hard way why it is that you don't use that tool unless you've got lots of experience.
Is that really the reason why they say, look, man, don't use this if you don't entirely know what you're doing? Just the risk of setting off the airbags?
Oh, yeah, airbags, or you could even fry the car's computer system with it if you activate the wrong wires. So there's some risks to doing it if you don't know for sure that the wires you're going to touch are for speakers.
Do you assume that those seats need to be reupholstered, that the carpet needs to be pulled out? That all? I mean, is it a complete
you're
interior?
Cleaning it. You're definitely cleaning the car because there's a lot of dust that comes out when those things go off. And so you're not reupholstering anything, except actually, I take that back. On the CTS, the airbags are inside of the seats, so those actually did have to get replaced. It was a very expensive damage claim.
And not only that, but it's amazing he didn't get knocked out because, like, even 11 years ago, that's the standard airbag they were using. Was that, what is it, Tamarka or whatever that keeps getting recalled?
Oh yeah, the recall ones. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm sure there might have been some of those in there too.
But I'm sure. So maybe he did this guy a favor in getting rid of him.
But I've read,
he was lucky with where his head was, so he didn't get knocked out.
I've read many articles where the airbag is what knocks someone out.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, you're taking a punch to the face from an explosive.
It's just better than your face hitting the windshield. It's like, it's not that this is awesome. Yeah. It's just better than.
Yeah, it's like, look, you're going to get punched in the face or you want to die.
Right. That's
so
all.
Anybody's going to say, just punch me in the face, man. I don't want to die. So that's basically your airbag. Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
Our question, whether anyone believes you or not, I swear that blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Robert. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
All right. This story actually happened earlier this week. I'm a construction worker. While working with a rivet buster, which is more or less a 40-pound handheld jackhammer, one of the parts inside the tool needed to be replaced. I turned off the air hose where the hose connects to the gun. I bled the air out of the gun, took all the parts, took it apart, and I got the old piece out, which was a piston. It's a chunk of solid steel about 4 inches long and about the diameter of a 50-cent piece.
All right.
I took that part out. I went and got a new one, put it into the gun. I can see the valve is still in the off position. I pick up the front end of the tool to pour some oil in it to help lubricate it. The trigger for the rivet buster is on the back side of the handle. This makes it easier if you're leaning into it to break up concrete. Well, when I lifted it up to put the oil in, the trigger got pressed and the piston shot out of the tool, hitting me in the face.
Oh!
Yeah, smashed right into my safety glasses on the left-hand side. Knocked me senseless for a few moments. Surprisingly, I didn't go down, but I stumbled away from the tool, dropping it, cursing loudly. It gave me about a 2-centimeter gash on my left eyebrow where my safety glasses slammed into my face. And they also slammed into my left eye, so that's all bloodshot still. Every now and then, my left eye goes out of focus if I'm focusing on something.
How long ago did this happen?
You said it was been a week, right?
A week.
It happened on Wednesday.
This Wednesday, like 2 days ago.
Yes.
So is your eye starting to get green and black? Are you starting to look like someone punched you in the face?
No, surprisingly. The next day, that eye was a little puffier around the bottom than the right eye, but honestly, I'm not showing all that many signs that I just had a 2-pound hunk of steel shoot me in the face.
Yeah. I mean, that is impressive. You got lucky.
Yeah. Guys on the job site are constantly making jokes about a scene from the movie No Country for Old Men where they've got a cattle stunner, which shoots a bolt a couple inches into a cow or a pig's skull to kill them.
Right.
Yeah, this thing, it knocked me senseless.
See, I'd have called you Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Mm-hmm. You got lucky, man. And I would say this.
You didn't get lucky. It just wasn't as bad as it could have been.
You and if you continue to have vision problems, man, go get that checked out. Because you don't know, maybe there's something ruptured on the inside, or you just might be off kilter or something. You might have done something with your retina. You never know.
Yeah, the job site safety guy, he says if my eye is still giving me some problems by Monday, they'll take me to the clinic that the company uses to have me checked out.
Oh, don't trust that, man. You know what they do there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Never worked here.
That's right.
That's why they keep making those No Country for Old Men jokes.
They'll put you out to pasture.
Right. It's not so much a joke. Just tell them everything's fine, man. No, it's good.
Well, hopefully you can watch some football before it's over.
Man, oh man, that is terrifying.
Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
I told you this before. This was an accident, and I'm working at Chi-Chi's all these many years ago, and I have the staple gun. And with the staple gun, you press the button, those things, they shoot a little bit. You're not going to kill anybody with it, but I'm doing the staple gun. The receptionist is filling helium balloons. That's right, because there's always kids in there and all that crap. So she'd fill like 8 of them, and I'd shoot maybe 2 of them down. And she was cool. Like, we're just having fun. We're just shooting the ass before business opens. So I'm shooting the staples, and I hit a balloon, and I pop it. She's like, oh, stop it. Yes, I'm hitting on her, sure. She's still filling balloons. I shoot another one down. Then I go to shoot one, and I fire the staple. I miss the balloon. And, of course, our general manager, her name was Melissa. She has just turned the corner into the hosting section, and the staple lodges in her boob, all right? So the way I see it, I fire the staple, and after I hit the button, maybe one Mississippi, there's the general manager, and I see her, both of her hands, clutch her boob, man. She kind of winces, and here I am holding the staple gun, and I'm like, God damn it, man. I got suspended for the day. She was
just not who you want to hit.
I think she knew that it was an accident, because I explained, like, hey, actually, I've been popping the balloons that you pay for instead. She wasn't happy about that, but shooting her in the boob was not a good move, but it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even have done it, Albert. If you said aim for my boob and fire the staple gun, no chance I hit you.
That's unconscious. Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
Thank you, Miles. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, guys. So I used to work as a projectionist back in the day when movies were shown on actual films, not on DVDs. And when you get a movie in as a projectionist, it comes in like 5 reels, and you have to actually splice it all together with tape, and then you put them on these big platters, and then there's a platter it comes off of and a platter it goes onto before it goes through the actual projector. So when we got movies, we'd have to put them all together, and we'd have to watch them the night before they came out to make sure we put them together right and to make sure there wasn't any defects in the film and stuff, which was great. We got to watch movies early. But we were supposed to sit up in the window and watch them from there in case anything went wrong. But that was terrible because it's a tiny little window and the projector is really loud, so you can't really actually watch the movie. So we just grab a bunch of popcorn from concessions and go down into the actual movie theater and watch these things the night before. And 99% of the time, everything's fine. It gets over, and then we start showing it the next day. Well, back in 01 or 02, Ang Lee's The Hulk, when it came out, and we had to watch that the night before, and this thing was like 9 reels long, 9 reels of terrible long. And so we get it all together. It's like 1 a.m, And we start playing it, and we're down in the movie theater, and it goes for an hour and a half, and it gets to the part where, like, the desert starts, like the second half of the movie, and we start seeing these tiny little lines coming down from the top of the screen, and then we realize that something is scratching the film, so we run up to the projector booth, and what had happened was what's called a brain wrap, where the film starts wrapping around the center of the platter and starts creating, like, this massive, like, brain-looking thing. And if you're up there, you can immediately see it happening, but if you're not up there, you don't know it's happening until it starts pulling on the projector and scratching it. So we stopped the thing, and we had to pile the whole thing onto the floor, this whole movie onto the floor without it being reeled up, and we had to rewrap the whole thing. It took about 2 hours to do.
Jesus.
And then we had to start it back over to see how much we had screwed the thing up. And oh boy, did we screw it up. Like right at about half an hour in, just these massive black lines coming down the screen, probably like in real life, like 3 feet, across the screen.
Let me ask you a question. Honest to God.
Yeah.
If it would have been, say, 45 to 60 seconds, right? Maybe that's all the damage that was done. And you stopped it. More than likely, I wouldn't know it, but I just might miss a minute of that film after you recut, respliced, and put it back together and got rid of the bad part, right?
Oh, yeah, we do that all the time. Yeah.
I was going to say, you might have missed the only naked scene in the movie because you scratched it.
I was going to ask, as far as you know, in your time of running the film projection and knowing that things can go wrong or that maybe you have to make the movie theater edit because something's terrible. Are there any movies that you know as a fact, if they went to your movie theater, the scene or scenes that they may have missed? Like Miles said, some chick shows her boobs, but if I went to your movie theater, I don't even know that ever happened because you guys have edited the thing.
I didn't see You Can't Handle the Truth. Was that in this movie?
Right, why does everyone keep saying that?
It's a major line, you know what I mean?
Have you ever had to cut a significant line or scene out of a movie?
Not anything you would notice, but the movie Signs came out around that time, and we had to cut about 3 or so minutes out of the credits, like about 30 seconds after they started, which is so illegal. Like we would have gotten sued by the company that they found out.
Because the credits at the beginning, like those people, that's all ego stuff.
Yeah,
these are the stars.
This is the animated like alien stuff going on in the background. So that's about the worst. Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, it costs about $150,000 per reel to replace.
I was going to say,
oh my God!
Yeah, I was going to say that's not cheap.
So how does that work? I mean, do movie theaters buy these movies from the studio, or is it on loan?
Yeah, so they lease them. So yeah, they pay tons and tons of money. Not anymore. That's why they show them on DVDs now. But they used to lease them, and then they would have these guys in like suits come, and it was like freaking bags of money or something, and they'd drop them off, and then you'd have to take them straight up to the booth and put them in this room and lock it up, and then they'd come pick them up on a specific date, and you never knew when it was. They were just like, well, you're not showing this anymore, and they'd just come take the movie from you.
Yeah,
that's why.
Well, I got to ask, because, look, there's thousands and thousands of movie theaters around the country. You get first run of this thing, So in your own mind, you could set up your own recording thing and be able to record
you ever
those
bootleg
movies
anything
for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, so how stringent are they as far as your hiring process is concerned? Because the major thing is, the first thing you see on a DVD is if this is pirated, beginning of a movie or whatever. But you've got the thing before everybody else.
Right.
And I mean, you're in a room at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's not just you. It's thousands of employees across the country.
Sure.
So how do they govern that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To the point where
I think there's a union now. I think there's a projectionist union. So I'm sure there's stringent things going on there. Back then, I was a 16-year-old high school kid. I mean, we were smoking cigarettes out back.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like I'm sure I never did it, but I'm sure my people I worked with were in there with their. Well, it was 2001, so maybe their dad's,
But that was about the time where like
pirated stuff was
Kazaa or whatever. I mean, like you could get a bootleg DVD. Now there might be a dude's head in front of you at the movie theater, and the camera's a little shaky, but you got the whole theater to yourself.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, and we would do private showings for our friends. Like people wouldn't come to stuff, and we would just be like, just go in and watch it by yourself.
Yeah,
and of course that's the ones you'd put the couples in too.
Have you ever like spliced a penis into a movie? No, it's one
like
frame
style.
Yeah, because no one would really see it, but you just put that imprint on their brain.
No, it's harder than you think because, like, you don't have access to, like, just a spare, penis over here to splice in. You'd have to go make a film.
If you hired me, I would come in with, like, 18 frames of penis and be like, look, one of these for every
old binder.
Okay, well, here
binder
was,
of penis,
look,
yes.
Here was what we would do. When my buddy was the manager at a movie theater, whenever the last movie got out, all right, so the last movie, let's say it got out at 11:45, midnight, depending on how long the run is, it's 9 o'clock movie.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was later. So we would meet Craig, and the deal was this. We would go and we would clean up the theaters. There were 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go in, like that was his job. He had to pick up everything off the floor, general sweeping and all that.
Yeah.
You found the most least used tub of popcorn you could. Because the way they did it was they counted the buckets. They counted
for
the cups.
inventory, yeah.
That's it. That's how you knew.
Mm-hmm.
So we would all find a cup that was in decent shape, wash that out, find our own popcorn bucket that was, not, hopefully we found one without butter. Because then it was a little bit more less grease stained. Then we put our own butter in it. But we would just use those and then basically just have endless popcorn, endless sodas, fill our sodas up with, Jack Daniels and Coke, and then watch a movie at midnight.
Zach, let me ask you this. What's in the butter?
They come in these disgusting, huge boxes that I one time accidentally spilled on the floor, and it never stopped being slippery after that for 3 years. So, motor oil, it's disgusting. I ate so much of it, though. When you work there, it's just like, that's what you do. You just eat the popcorn. We would put them in huge garbage bags at the end of the night and take them into the movie theaters with us and just eat half the things. It was disgusting.
But it doesn't sound disgusting to me.
It's so good.
Is it actually butter?
Yeah.
No, it's margarine, isn't it?
No,
I think it's
flavored
based.
oil. It's just flavored oil.
It's good though. I
That's
wish
why
they'd
it's so
sell
delicious.
it. Yeah, if they had that by the olive oil, I'd be like, ooh, movie theater.
They
butter?
probably don't because you probably don't actually want to see it.
Just put it.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to put it in a clear bottle.
It's like microwave popcorn, right? Like when I was a kid, first you had to cook it in like one of those popcorn machines.
Sure.
Then the microwave popcorn came out, and I was like, it's all right. Then they were like, we got movie theater butter. Microwave
it's a
popcorn.
difference maker.
Oh, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the movie. Years ago, we're going to watch whatever movie at my place, but Castle and his wife are coming over. And we're like, okay, it's cool. So for the experience, they went to a movie theater. They didn't buy tickets to go in, but they went in, bought the popcorn, and then brought that over. And I'm like, that is a veteran move.
That is.
Because we were like, look, we're not going to pop popcorn that's as good as movie theater popcorn. So they're like, look, we got it, dude. We just stopped there, and they had to convince the guy, like, look, we're not sneaking into the movies. We don't want to spend $20 on tickets. We just want to buy the popcorn. And they let them, which I was kind of surprised. But it worked. Oh, they do so.
Wow.
What is
you
that?
can officially get movie theater butter.
Colonel Season's movie theater popcorn.
I'd try
oil.
that.
They got other ones too. They got like the big gallon jugs of movie theater butter. They got the little squirt top on it if you want to use that.
You know what?
top.
I might do that. That's what I call my penis.
I got a popcorn hookups out.
Oh, that's right.
You have many popcorn hookups. You have
I
more
do.
than one.
I have
You
two.
might have more.
But I have
You
one
have more
of the
popcorn
But
hookups
coast
than
to
anybody I
coast.
know.
You got them on the East Coast. You got them on
Spanning
the
the
West
globe.
Coast.
But my buddy Cobb, who owns Cobb's down in the market, like he has come over before with it's fresh, but just like clear bags, like almost garbage bags full of popcorn, because he was gonna fill them up there while we were watching football or something. But it's just crazy to like hold that much popcorn.
He's got to hook
How
us
much
up,
is
man.
away?
Nothing.
It's popcorn.
Right,
Yeah,
saying,
it's
it's gotta be crazy.
You're just like, look at me.
I'm the king of popcorn.
Right.
You should just send a picture to your cousins, like, ha mother.
I will say, in this pandemic, I have taken to, if I'm on a Zoom with my cousins, purposely having a bag of Cobb's.
Oh, just
And then if I'm like on a Zoom with him, I
You
have
have
like
Smith family popcorn. Just trolling.
constantly like, I guess somebody's gonna have to give me more free product.
Right, exactly. Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
hello, Julie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I swear this was an accident. This guy's my ex, though. Okay, so I'm like 18, and I have the really cute boyfriend. He comes over to my mom's house to mow her lawn. So it's like in the 80s, and he's just sweating. He's mowing away, and he asked me for something to drink. So I go in the house, pop open the fridge, and there is a nice big jug. It looks like fresh squeezed lemonade, with the pulp floating around and everything.
Right.
So I pour him a big glass, and I put the ice cubes in, and I go trooping out there like the great girlfriend I am. And he turns off the mower, grabs that glass, smiles, says, thank you, tips back his head, and is just chugging this because it is hot. Next thing I know, it's the Exorcist. He is projectile vomiting everywhere in the front yard. And in between dry heaves, he's like, what was that? So I run back into the house and check out the picture, and I'm like, Mom, what is in this? And she goes, oh, I boiled chicken last night. That's the chicken water.
God damn. You gave him a glass.
Actually, chunks of chicken fat.
You gave him a glass of stock?
Well, typically broth isn't bad, but I mean, if you're not expecting it.
Wow.
Okay.
Why did your mom leave that in a pitcher?
I guess to make soup with. I don't know. I think it was a trap.
It had to be a trap. Like, you don't want your kids to eat Tide Pods, so most people don't put them in a cookie jar. You know what I mean? Wow.
Yeah.
How long did he puke?
I thought I killed him. I didn't know what the heck was going on. It was like projectiles, like 2 or 3 and then dry heaves.
I bet you ruined him on lemonade.
Yeah.
I mean, just the idea of it probably makes him sick to this day. Like, look, man, it wasn't lemonade, but my ex-girlfriend Julie tried to kill me once. Gave me
cutting grass. He was doing the hard work.
And Miles, you're right. Broth is great.
Right.
If you expect it.
Right. I was just going to say.
I mean, look,
you got to know what it is.
Sprite, I like water, but there's been times where what I thought was a glass of water, throw it in my mouth, it's Sprite, and Sprite's delicious, and it's still, you want it out of your mouth instantly.
Broth kept me alive before I had that colonoscopy. That really was. That was the one. I couldn't really eat anything, so I could just drink things. But that was the most solid thing.
Broth.
Beef broth. I mean, I'm just chugging beef broth.
Did you try any other broths?
No, I just bought a big thing of beef broth.
Huh.
It was pretty. It was good. I mean, it was.
I'm with you.
It is good.
You know what it's like? It's like
French onion soup without any onions.
That's it. You're just sipping on French onion soup broth.
I always go chicken broth if I'm sick.
Yeah, well, that's standard, right? There's some chicken noodle soup will make you feel better.
So chicken broth basically just there's no noodles or whatever. But yeah, like
I got a buddy who gets up and drinks a cup of chicken broth every day instead of coffee.
No kidding.
What's the benefit of that?
I'm sure it was something in an article. You know what I mean? Like one of those things. I'm sure there's a benefit to it. I don't know what it is.
It's not quite disgusting. I just don't know if I'd look forward to that every morning.
But I kind of get it now after that day of broth.
Ah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is tasty. This is delicious.
Well, and broth is like has a lot of sodium or whatever, because I've been sick enough before where you're like kind of get going out of both ends, and it's like you can't keep stuff down. It's like drink some broth.
Drink broth.
Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
So apparently bone broth is full of all the minerals your bones need in a super absorbable, digestible form. It also comes with a big hit of collagen, and collagen is important for skin elasticity.
Oh, no wonder I look so fresh this day.
It's also what helped out your butt.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Elasticity.
My satchel looks smooth.
Oh, no.
How did you get that to look like that?
You ever seen testicles without wrinkles?
Did you get an ironing job? No. Beef broth.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So years ago, I was working as a contractor for a utility company, and after a couple of years, I got hired in-house. So this happened the first day they let me take a company rig out. As a contractor, you're not allowed to drive them. So it's a big 1-ton truck with a great big rectangle ruby mirrors off the sides. And I'm driving down I-5 to the bad interchange between I-5 and 512. And just parked there waiting to get on. And it was a nice sunny day. Got the window down, my elbow out of the window, feeling great. Bam! The mirror explodes. And it was another construction rig that swerved into me, and his mirror hit mine. It just blew it up.
Into your elbow?
Into the rearview mirror, but inches from my elbow.
Oh, you got lucky on that one.
Yeah, you didn't get hit at all, though?
What's that?
You didn't get hit at all physically?
No, I didn't.
There's nothing worse than the mirror thing, man.
Well,
I've had it before, like where you park on the street, you go to dinner, you come back, and your mirror's hanging off. Like, you didn't leave me a note or
I know,
anything.
of course not.
You know what I mean? It's like,
people leave notes when there are other witnesses. This is what I'm convinced of. So, you knock someone's mirror off, and there's two people walking their dog.
That's the one thing.
Write a note.
That's the one thing if you do that no one cops to. Like, you could back into someone, leave a dent in their car, like, man, here's my note, here's my name, here's my number. You knock somebody's mirror off, you're like, just their mirror. Mm-hmm. One time, this is the honest to God.
Dude, I've been in those cars before, and it's like, are you going to, go back?
Yeah.
Nah, it'll be fine.
But nobody goes back. If they didn't stop then, they're not going, oh, yeah, I'm just going to drop you off, Ted, and I'm going to drive right back to the scene of the crime.
Mike, this is no lie. One time we were partying in Baltimore, probably got too messed up. Either way, we're in my apartment. And the people that we were drinking with, they're all going to come back to the apartment. The one person who's coming back, we referred to her as Danger for good reason.
Oh, yeah.
She has never been to my place before. We are trying to steer her in on the phone, blah, blah, blah. We do not realize the state that she is in at this point.
I think it's one of those things where she metabolized all of her. So she seemed fine as we were leaving.
Everybody.
And then in the 10 minutes that we don't see her, like, obviously she has metabolized all the booze.
She's driving down this road called Falls Road, which is a pretty busy road, and it's got maybe 45, 50 mile an hour speed limit on a 2-lane road. So you can truck through there, but it's still 2-lane road.
It's also a very significant road into Baltimore.
So I'm talking to Danger, and I'm like, Danger, are you okay? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, oh, man, you're not okay. And all of a sudden I hear, boom. And I'm like, Danger, what is that? She goes, there goes my mirror. And I said, well, what did you lose it on? She goes, another car coming the other way. Pull over. Pull over now.
God, I remember that, man.
I mean, I'm screaming at her. Pull over. Where exactly are you? Someone is coming to get you now. Like, why in the hell are you driving?
Because you call me Danger.
Right, exactly. But there goes my mirror. And I'm like, well, what'd you lose it on? Another car going the other direction. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Apparently, they must have been hammered, too, because they kept on driving.
Right.
They didn't stop. But either way, I'm just like, oh, my God, man.
I told you I was waiting for tickets once in line at a record shop.
All right.
So it's on a small one-way street. So it's a bunch of people the same age, teenagers, early 20s. And this car comes by and clips another car's mirror. And the lady gets out, right? Because everybody can see it. She feels bad.
Like I said, if there's witnesses.
Right. So she leaves a note. But now it's been like 20 minutes. We're bored. Nobody's opened the door. We had a conversation with an officer of the law like a month before that, and I had a business card on me. So we swiped out her note and put in the cop's business card.
Oh, damn.
Just the idea of this lady calling the cop and be like, well, why did you leave your car? You obviously hit my
window. Whether anyone believes you or not, I swear blank was a complete accident. 206-421-ROCK.
Yeah, that was evil.
That's funny, though.
Yeah.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
Don't take this the wrong way. Hold on just a second. But I have waited for 43 minutes and 18, which means exactly how much I love you all.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that.
Like, if I'm calling you, I give you like 12 minutes. Then I'm done.
Oh, my God, I'm such an enormous fan now. Like, I was almost basically force-fed you from someone that I'd met a few years back.
Don't be true. Somebody who you're having sex with. Don't act like that.
Oh, no. Someone I desperately and deeply love even to this day.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's good.
But anyway, it's been years, and all of a sudden it creeps up on you. I can't pass it by. Every time I hear you guys, I'm stop. And there you are.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, especially because you got that sexy British accent going on.
Oh, I thought she's from Brooklyn.
Stop. Okay, let's focus. Focus on the story. Here we go. I remembered this story when you brought up your subject today that made me laugh, and it takes place in the woods of Pennsylvania. So, and I was much younger then. But
wait, did you say Transylvania?
No, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I was like, Jesus.
Same thing, though.
Yeah, okay.
No. So, anyways, me and my father were out traveling in the woods and la-di-da, and he decides it's a good day for us not to just pick mushrooms. You know, he's showing me this mushroom and that mushroom and all the edible ones, and, trying to teach his daughter, like, poisonous from that and all of that sort of thing. And on we go, and all of a sudden he realizes that he has he's got his bow and arrow with him. And I knew he was sort of, slowing down, like he kind of, cocking his head and getting a bit cautious. Well, there was a big buck, not far. And he was all excited. Well, earlier he was trying to show me these tricks with the bow, right? So I say, okay, now it's his turn. I didn't know all what was going on, except for the most part that he was mostly just teasing me, like making me practice and all, and then sort of blowing in my ear, trying to get me to mess up and all. So he's just teasing me and all that. Well, I decided that I would get him back.
All right.
And so when I realized he was going to take his shot with his bow, I sort of teased him back a bit. Oh, my God, was that the worst mistake in the world? Because you know how it is if you're shooting something. If you get it in the wrong spot, it's not going to go down for a bit, and you're going to have to do a bit of tracking and all, right? So that's kind of important when it comes to something like that. Well, yes, I did get him back good and square, and because, you know, children learn what they live.
So what'd you have to do? Chase this deer for 3 miles?
Hello?
Hello?
Is she gone?
I think her phone cracked.
Well, hell.
I want to know where he ended up shooting this deer.
Yeah.
How bad it was.
Great.
I felt like carnage was coming.
Mike, do you know?
You don't know how it ended?
She didn't tell you?
Oh, no.
Thanks. Still to come, the return of Ted versus the FCC on a Bad Choice Friday.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.